Are you a contractor or a local service business owner who is setting out to either get a website built for you or build your own website, but you're just not sure what needs to be on it or what makes a good website in general? Then this is the video for you. My name is Chuck Kyle. I am a remodeling contractor and I'm also the owner of Adapt Digital Solutions. We are a marketing agency for local service businesses and we've built hundreds of websites. And I've personally had the pleasure of being able to work with hundreds of businesses and participate in their marketing and see what kind of results come from different types of websites. And so at this point, it's safe to say that I have a pretty good handle on what makes a website successful. And the good thing for you is that most of it is common sense. So today we're going to look at a website of a client of mine. And the reason I chose this one is because this person has been working with me for years. We built their website from scratch 3 years ago, and over the years, their business has more than quadrupled, and part of it is a direct result of this website. And it's a great example of a simple site that has what it needs to give its visitors what they're looking for. So if you're a contractor or a local service business, you are looking to get found by customers in your area. So all you really have to do is have a website that shows your customers what they're looking for. And at the core of it, our entire business is always about giving our customers a good experience. And your website is just an extension of your business online. It's often one of the first things that people see when they come in contact with you and your company. And so let's just take a look. And I'm gonna scroll through this whole website and just give you a play-by-play as I look at it, what I see and why everything is the way it is. Okay, so the name of this website is Lundy's Lawn Care, and this company is called Lundy's Landscape Services. They do landscaping, just general landscaping services in Virginia. And the first thing I notice when I see this site is that it looks very clean and the branding is on point. So the logos always go in the top left. A lot of the reasons we build websites to look the way they look is because this is how people are used to seeing websites. You could throw your logo on the right, but it's just gonna look weird to people because the internet's been around for a couple dozen years and people are used to seeing things in a certain way. So there's no need to mix it up or try to reinvent the wheel. Just make your website follow a similar structure as all the other websites you see and you'll be good. So you need to have a professional logo. It needs to be clean and crisp. It needs to be easy to read. It needs to make sense. And ideally you wanna have some kind of brand colors. So you can see that this brand color is like kind of gold, and it's nice because the logo is the brand color, and then it allows us to make the buttons and other features of the website kind of resonate with the brand color, and it gives some kind of like congruence to the whole thing. When it comes to design, the human eye will pick up on little subtleties, and you'll pick up on these things subconsciously without even noticing. If that logo was like slightly tilted, just like 2 degrees, your eyes would pick it up and you would just get a bad feeling about this whole website. You'd be like, oh, something's off. And you might not know what it is. You would just feel like something's off. And so everything always must be symmetrical. There's an equal amount of space between the words on the left side of the screen and the words on the right side of the screen. There's equal space above the logo and below the logo. Little tiny design details like that are really important. And if you're designing your own website and you're not really practiced at this, you're just gonna wanna spend a lot of time looking at all these micro details. The second thing I notice about this site is the whatchamacallit, the navigation. So all the buttons kind of controlling where the person wants to go. The home's always on the left, and then the about, and then our services, and so on. You'll want to follow this same format. Some people like to use the little hamburger icon that people can open the menu. Like there's like a bunch of different ways to do a menu, but just You just want to keep it simple. Do it the way that people are expecting. And then we either have a phone number or a get a quote button at the right side of the header. This spot up here is called the header. And so there must be some way to contact you up there at the top right, because that's where people are looking for it. So as we move below the header, you'll notice when I scroll, the header stays up here. Sometimes we'll do that because that way when somebody's reading through a web page, they'll be able to, whenever they decide they're ready, they'll be able to just click the get a quote button and be done with it. Okay, so we move down a little bit. This section that we see right here at the top is called the hero section. I don't know why they call it that, but it's basically just the first section. It's the first thing that people see. And I'd say the most important thing is in your heading, which is the big words that you show in your hero section, you want it to be immediately clear what you do and where you do it. So this company does full service landscaping, and they do it in Chilhowie, Virginia. This is super important because when somebody lands on your website, the first thing they're wondering is, am I in the right place? If I went to Google and typed in landscaper near me and I click onto a website, I want to see that I'm in the right place. If it doesn't say the location, it just says landscaping, then I've got half the equation, but I'm still not completely sure that these people are going to be able to help me. So you want to answer that question within the first few seconds of someone being on your page. You know, in the first second, they say, oh, this website looks nice. There's no alarm bells going off in my head about it being unprofessional or looking weird. And then in the third second goes by, they've confirmed that you do what they were looking for in the location that they were looking for it. Now we've got the subheading here. This is where we throw in some of the specific categories of service that this company does. They do landscaping, lawn care, hardscaping, tree care, and so on. That way, if somebody is looking for a specific subtype or subcategory of landscaping, they're gonna see it right here. And again, people are looking for something specific. You want them to be able to confirm that you can give them what they're looking for as soon as possible. There will be some features of this website that I won't go into because they aren't as important. But this little request a callback form here on the right is something that we started implementing a few years ago, and it gets a lot of leads. And that's because some people, they confirmed that you do what they want, where they want it, and they don't want to call you right now. They just want you to call them back at some point. So they drop their info in here, and boom, you got the lead, and the person didn't even start scrolling down your website. So that's the hero section. The next section, we almost always make it the about section. So the title is Meet Aaron Lundy. Aaron Lundy is the owner of this company. It's got a picture of him and his kids. Super important. I can't believe how many people miss this, but one of the only things that makes your company unique is you and the people that work with you. And if you do remodeling or plumbing or whatever, you're not the only one in your town. Chances are. If you are, then it doesn't matter what's on your website. Just make a website and you'll be the only one. But chances are there's a whole bunch of other companies just like you, and they all do the same thing. They all do them to similar standards because we have laws and codes regulating this stuff. And so it's very commoditized. The only thing that makes your company unique is you. So you want to have pictures of you. You want to talk about yourself a little bit, because once the person confirms you do what they want, where they want it, the next thing they want to know is, can they trust you to do a good job? And of course you can say, oh, we always do a good job, but everybody says that. If you just show your face and tell them a little bit about yourself, you're going to be much more relatable and much more trustworthy. So the second section, we always make it about the people behind the company, and we make it as personal as we can. It's like, hey, give us a call. I'll answer the phone. I'll talk to you about your problem. And if you need me to come fix it, I will. Like, if you say something like that, that's fine. If you're building your own website, you can say something like, hey, I'm a carpenter. Don't judge me too harshly on my website design skills because I'm a lot better at carpentry. You know, something really honest and candid like that can go a long way, but show pictures of yourself. I mean, we have a lot of clients and probably half of them still don't show pictures of themselves. I know it can be scary to put yourself out there a little bit, but just show some pictures of your face. It'll go a long ways. So the second section is always about us. And then we go into the specific services. So, you know, if somebody's looking for a specific service, you definitely want it mentioned on your homepage. The other reason that we go into some detail on all these different categories of landscaping is for Google. By having, you know, landscaping is a broad service. There's companies out there that only do tree care. There's companies out there that only do lawn care. And so if your company does all these things, you have to call them out specifically. If you want people to find you on Google for something that is not mentioned on your website, then you're barking up the wrong tree, because how would Google know you do it if it's not on your website? So we took landscaping services and we broke them down into 6 categories: landscaping, lawn care, hardscaping, tree services, spring and fall cleanup, and snow removal. And if I click any of these buttons, it's going to scroll down to another section that's further down that is specifically about the service that I clicked on. And I know this video is about the homepage, but if I click on more about tree care services, it's going to take me to an entire page that goes into even more details on all these different subcategories of tree services. And by being really thorough about the categories and the content, we are giving Google plenty of reasons to look at this website as the authority on all these different services and sub-service categories in this area. So it's very important. If you want Google to show you for something, it's got to be on your website. And once we get down below the About section, it's mostly about the services. At this point, most people will just click on get a quote or call you. They're not going to scroll through and read every little detail on your website. Now, if you are like a remodeling contractor and you're dealing with projects that are $100,000, $200,000, or a custom home builder where you're building $1 million homes, this is a much higher trust transaction. And so in this case, where somebody might be researching contractors for a year before they even call anybody, they're going to be spending a lot more time on your website, reading all the details, looking for any reason not to trust you. So you have to gauge how much trust is required to hire you. For someone doing lawn care, it's not nearly as much trust as somebody remodeling your kitchen or building an addition on your home. So below the About section, we go into services. And below that, we're kind of just sprinkling in some more reasons to trust us. We've got photography, pictures of the different projects. We've got some reviews that we pulled off of Google. We've got videos of our work. I'll even a link to the YouTube channel because this company has a YouTube channel. In between these little snippets of content, we'll sneak in what are called call to actions. So a call to action is basically like, hey, you ready to call us yet? Here's our number. Here's a button that takes you to the contact form. If they keep scrolling, it's because they're not ready to contact you yet. So we show them more things. We went really into depth on this website into each service and all the categories because it was really important to us that Google would show us for all these different things. And it's important to note that the reason we're doing a lot of this stuff on the home page of the website is because we want people to find us on Google. If I type in landscaper in Chilhowie, Virginia, which is where they're located, we want them to show up here on top of the Google Maps section, because that Google Maps section is where most of you guys and gals are going to be getting any kind of visibility. And by making ourselves super relevant for all these different categories, whenever Google decides to show someone this little Google Maps box, you're going to show up there for that category. So even though you might be thinking, oh, I'm building a website because I want more customers, one of your website's main jobs is to get your Google listing to show up. So if you don't have a Google listing, you should go get one right now. Google.com/business. It's free. You might have to jump through a few hoops to get it, but you want that listing and you want to be getting reviews, because that's the main way people are even going to be finding your website in the first place. So back to the website, keep scrolling down. We've got more service sections. We're just talking about the services. A lot of this content at this point is for Google. It's not for your customers or our customers, because they're not reading every detail of this. They're scrolling through, looking for certain information. They want to make sure, oh, they do snow removal too. Cool, I'll keep that in mind. And they're going down, and here we got a little section about the core values. This is just more about the company. I'm not even sure how many people read this far, because usually they will just call or get a quote by this point. And at the bottom of every page, we have a footer section. So this footer section is the same on every page of the website. Sometimes it's good to have a contact page, but it's just as fine to have a contact section on every single page. Why make somebody click through to another page when you can just show them what they're looking for on the first page? So all of our home pages, they have a contact section where they have the phone number and maybe the address. We always put their map. We put their location on a map on their page. Again, this helps Google show your Google listing, which is the way that most people find you. And then of course, the contact form. So quick recap of what makes a good homepage. Again, this is the homepage of a website that has generated well over $1 million worth of business. So you gotta look professional. You have to have a professional design. The details matter. You wanna have some good branding, meaning you have a good logo. You have some kind of consistent brand colors across the website. You don't wanna use 20 different colors on your site. Pick one or two and make sure that all the buttons are the same colors, and only change something like a button color if you really, really wanna call out attention to it. But for simplicity's sake, it's fine to just make all the buttons the same color, have some kind of brand color, put some kind of method of contacting you in your header section on the right. Use a traditional navigation menu. Don't get cute. Just keep it simple. Keep it the same as most other websites out there. Don't make people think too hard, because you don't want them admiring the design on your website. You want them finding what they're looking for and calling you so they can become your paying customer. In the hero section or the top section of the website, always start by saying what you do, where you do it. That way you can confirm to the visitor that they're in the right place. Consider putting a subheading that will have some of the subcategories of your services in case somebody's looking for one of those subcategories. You want to confirm that you do what they want, where they want it, as soon as possible. Your second section should always be about you. Use pictures of yourself, of your team, talk about yourself, tell people why you do what you do, why you enjoy it, why you run this business in the first place, and how much joy you get out of helping your customers. Just tell them whatever you want, but just tell them something honest and show your face. It goes a long ways to people being able to trust you when you're willing to show your face. If you go look at a dozen of your competitors' websites, I would bet you that most of them don't show any people, and it just looks really cold and dry. Once you get beyond the about section, that's where you get into the specific services. The key here is cover all the categories of services you do. If you only do kitchen remodels, then your whole page can just be about kitchen remodels. But if you are a remodeling contractor or a general contractor and you do kitchens, bathrooms, additions, whole home renovations, ADUs, custom homes, then you need to have a category and a section of content on your homepage for each one of those categories. Make it impossible to confuse what you do, and don't assume that people or Google is going to know what you do if you don't specifically tell it. The rest of the content in here is a lot of supporting content for what I was just talking about. It's good to break it up. If you have a lot of content like we do on this homepage, break it up with call to action sections. And then at the bottom, have a way to contact you, contact section, put your Google listing, a link to your Google listing there, phone number if you want to get phone calls, and things like that. So I hope this video was helpful for you. Again, this website has gotten tremendous results. Don't overthink it. Keep it simple. Be thorough. And if you have any questions, drop them in the comments and I'll do my best to help you out. If you are tired of this and you're pulling your hair out and you just want somebody to do this for you, I have a whole team of people who are experts at building websites just like this and getting results just like this. So if you want to contact us and see if we're a good fit to work together, there's a link to do that in the description of this video. Thanks for watching and good luck with your website and your marketing.